I don't know that anyone's actually watching, but let's introduce ourselves. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you go ahead.
So I'm Farah.
I'm Jill. You can call
We're
me Jill or
Simplify.
Jilly. Yeah, we're Simplify.
Yeah,
Um,
and you can find us here. You can find us in College Confident Homeschoolers. You can find us on Reddit because wait, what's the name of our Reddit group again? Because we're just trying to start it up.
Homeschool to college.
Homeschool to College
Subreddit,
on Reddit. Yeah.
which we've started. It's something I'm on Reddit way more. And
hmm
I
Yeah.
always link to our group, but Facebook is becoming a little problem. Is that a word? Anyway.
It just is. I think we're trying to. Yeah, I think Reddit might be better for building communities, especially as some of the younger parents are there. And I think, yeah, I'm a Reddit lurker, but I'm gonna be more active
Yeah.
in
I'm
our
much more
group.
active on Reddit than Facebook. But
Yeah. Okay.
um
And we just got back from a trip, so we're a little frazzled still.
But we're also like, older women, so we're also just always frazzled.
I
So that's
Yeah,
standard.
perimenopause, menopause makes you frazzled.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, which we're very sympathetic to, when we're working with parents too.
it is a hard stage,
Mhm.
but also very nice because it's freeing, which we just made a video in Costa Rica on that. So about the next stage, if you're at the end of homeschooling journey, if this is your
Mhm.
last kid that's graduating, it is time to start thinking about yourself. And we really love to support all parents doing that because, life after homeschooling is really fun. It can be, but it is an adjustment because we all loved homeschooling so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, watch that. I thought that's a topic we talk about a good bit. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
like we have a service attached to it exactly, but I
No,
think
it's
it's
just a good message to get out there. Think of
exactly.
yourself. Plan your next stage as much as you plan
Mhm.
homeschooling. And we know homeschoolers love to over plan and think about everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so, like, put that into yourself. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Put
that's
it
really
into
good advice.
yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But we do provide other services, like including homeschool planning
We do.
uh, and college planning and all that stuff. So,
We
you can
work
reach
with
out to us. Yeah.
eighth grade to college.
Mhm,
One of our classes is very full at this moment, but
mhm.
most everything else, and that class is for juniors.
Rising juniors.
Rising juniors is very full, but otherwise we have tons of space.
Mhm.
Well, I wouldn't say tons, but we have space.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We definitely for 8th,
Eight,
ninth, 10th. Yeah.
yeah.
Rising 8th, ninth, 10th. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we want to talk about planning. What are your first thoughts about
What was
planning
that really
for
great thing I said when
you said you wanted someone to plan your life the way that homeschoolers plan their lives, well, their
I do.
homeschool
If
years.
someone would like to micromanage me for a little bit, I would so appreciate it. I'm quite overwhelmed. Um, no, homeschoolers are really good at planning, so
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
And I think one thing I'm noticing this year, and it's actually causing me a little stress because it's quite crazy, is how early everyone wants to plan.
It feels to me
And
like it keeps getting earlier, and I feel
mhm,
like it's what I feel like I'm seeing is like it's almost like a race between the providers to push the date earlier and earlier. And I don't like it. Mm-mm.
I don't like it either. And as if anyone's been following me, they know that I am trying so hard, my son and I, to get Moth updated. And it's like we're under the gun. And it's really hard because we're redoing the whole site. And Drew and I do everything by hand. We put in all the
Mhm.
course listings and the teacher bios, and I'm hiring teachers. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this has to be up because everyone is planning. And I want our courses to be part of that, to get out there. But
Mhm.
you don't, during COVID, we did see a lot of things close quickly because so many people were homeschooling. And
Yeah.
it's not, besides a few courses that close right away, looking at the Clovers, um,
Yeah.
you know, it's not that crazy.
No, it's not. And there are a bunch of providers that don't even have their courses up. A friend who works for Blue Tent reached out to tell me like a couple of their new courses for next year. They're
Right.
adding AP chemistry. That's not even there yet. So like if you're already like, I must decide, I have to pick my kid's AP chemistry class like right now, then you
And you're missing out.
what was probably maybe one of the best. I mean, I think it's new, but, like, they're very excited about the teacher, so, like, hopefully it'll be really good, so, like and it's gonna have a live meeting. which some of the other options don't have. So like you're missing that. And the same thing for things like Moth or Rise Out or,
Yeah.
like Athena's, like if you've got a younger student, like, like they don't even announce their courses until later.
Yeah.
So
And if you're
yeah.
planning so early, it may change and then you have to plan
Mhm.
all over again, which also I do think homeschool parents don't always mind that. They just like to, I was a homeschool parent. I had 3 kids. It was fun to plan, you know,
Yeah.
but there's not this urgency to it. That's the takeaway I would give, and you might want to wait till everything opens up so you can see really what all the choices are.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially like once you know kind of your kids' group, like by junior year, I find that most parents kind of know, like, okay, we know we're going to do, this or that because their kid has thrived in that
Right.
with that teacher, with that provider, with that system. And so then, yeah, go ahead. But like, it just take a breath. It's crazy to me. Like, we started seeing in our group a lot of posts in December, and I'm like, you haven't even started spring semester yet. Like, be in the moment a little bit. Like,
Oh my God. I had it. So I did call it Planning 1010 on YouTube too.
I know that's what I'm saying. Is
No,
it
no,
posted
I
that
didn't
way?
realize I did that. I was also doing it somewhere. I don't know why I'm typing 1010, but anyway, okay, so this is called Planning 1010. It's my new way of
Supposed to be
saying
101.
planning. Okay. Sorry. And we do have viewers. This is our first time doing it on YouTube, and
Okay.
there's people watching. So this is all very, very good. So yeah, so let's
Okay.
get our best
Well,
behavior.
let's go through some of the questions because
Okay,
there's some on
let me do that.
Facebook. There's
Yeah.
some.
Okay, I got a really good one. Can I start us off with one?
You can. I've got a couple that I see that I definitely want to tackle. Go.
Okay,
You go.
here's the one
Go
I
back
want
and
to talk
forth.
about. Eighth grader currently taking biology and algebra
Mhm.
2 was told by his charter, who we use for funds, that he can take CLEP exams as a ninth grader for all of his high school level courses he's taken as a middle schooler. Concerned how this will look on his transcript. Advice on moving forward. I so wanted to talk about CLEP because
Oh,
it pops up over and over. It seems to be popping up a lot more lately in our group.
I was
Um,
making a face and I realized that because it goes back and forth, it doesn't
no one can
capture my
see your
face.
face.
You could see it, but like I needed to make the face like the bleh face for everyone.
Clip's not great. It shouldn't be a huge focus. Also,
No.
there's 2 things going on here in this question. I'm glad that they asked. Number one is taking high school courses in middle school. And how does that show up on a transcript? And what's the purpose of it? I think we could talk
Yeah.
about. And then number 2, do CLOT serve any functions in applying to colleges? And the answer is what sometimes in a few specific cases,
Well, no,
there
no,
are.
no. I disagree. Very rarely does CLEP serve a purpose in applying to college.
No, once you get there.
Sometimes
Once you get there.
sometimes it
These
can let you
local
skip a
regional
line or
public
something.
schools
Mhm.
sometimes take some flip credits. And some parents
Mhm.
have done the research and they're like, well,
Yeah.
my kid is for sure going to
Mhm.
this 80% acceptance rate, 90% acceptance rate, local public school,
Mhm.
and they do take CLEP credits.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, you did the research, your kid's absolutely going to go there. I mean, use it if you want.
Yeah,
Um, but
absolutely.
but for most people, it is not going to help at all in any way once you get to a lot of your schools. And in admissions, a lot of people in admissions don't even.
They haven't heard of it, and that includes at school. So, like, some public flagships also take CLEP credit, so, like, and, so they're not worthless, like, that's definitely not true for credit,
But
but
not for
in
mission.
exactly, in admissions, they're pretty worthless, and so if your student and you don't know where your student's gonna end up, and I don't like parents sort of saying like, "Well, my kid will go to regional public university, Northern, and therefore we're gonna," and it's like they're in 8th grade and you're already planning all their gen ed credits. Like, what is happening? Like,
So I think one thing
back
that's
it up.
happening is they're just so stressed about the cost of college, which
I know.
is a very huge stressor in so many families' lives.
Yeah.
But I think if you research it a little more, you'll find that there might be better options sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, usually. And I think also just, getting and this speaks to too, like there, I see a couple questions in our group recently about dual enrollment and how to use it and so forth. And it just, if you are hyper focused on maintaining these credits and so forth, you're potentially closing off other avenues of success for your student. And I think also the cost, people are convinced of something that is a lie. And that lie is that the cost of college has ballooned massively over the last couple decades. And that is just not true. The cost of the average cost, the average real cost that people are paying has plateaued for the last couple decades. And you tell people this, and the backfire effect that they feel when they hear it is so extreme that they don't believe you. But it is true because there
Mhm.
are a lot of deals out there. Most schools are discounting pretty heavily. And so some people are paying a lot higher, but most people are not. And so, don't get so focused on like, oh, my kid has to fulfill their gen ed credits in 8th and ninth grade for
Yeah,
college,
yeah,
that you're like closing them off from exploring other possibilities and schools that give great merit aid and financial aid. Like take a little time and let them, have a good
yeah,
educational experience.
yeah. I just noticed we had a live chat here going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I had to
There's
look at it.
more. I know. There's other.
Okay. And also the other thing is, the other thing I want to talk about with that was just like,
Mhm,
do you need to be doing tons of high school work in middle school? And what really
mhm.
counts on the transcript? A lot of
Yeah,
people are really worried about this too. They want
yeah.
to get a head start. And really, the only thing that really shows up for the most part is a language other than English credits for middle
Mhm.
school and math.
Yeah. Well, so if you are with a charter, or an outside provider like that is providing the transcript, they will see it, but it still is not, so some schools will take those, as like, okay, you have checked the box on, say, high school biology or something, but it won't look as strong, especially if your student is
No.
applying to more competitive schools. And you need
And
to
it
keep
depends of
that in
what you're
mind.
going into too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I
Yeah.
mean, if you take a high school course of biology in eighth, and then in a few years later, you're taking AP bio,
That's great. Yeah,
that's
it's
great.
a good way to get a head
Yeah.
start on higher level courses, but colleges aren't that impressed with it. Yeah.
And then someone right below asked about, they signed up for a couple of well-trained mind classes. They'll do literature at home. Do they need to start a transcript in eighth grade? No.
No.
No. Eighth grade is such a great year because we plan for a
Mhm,
lot of eighth graders,
mhm,
and it's really one of the things that gives me the most joy because not too much really counts yet. And it's
mhm,
a time for eighth graders. They really should explore different areas they're interested in. Like, oh, maybe I want to take a film course. Oh, maybe I would like, anatomy and just dip their toe, in different things, philosophy or something, just to try it out. So then when they get to high school, they can know, oh, I really love that. Or, oh, I completely hated that. And
mhm.
in eighth grade, you can drop if something's not working too well, you can drop it, you can go on little tangents still. It's your last time to just really have fun with your kids. And because they're teens now, it's really fun. It's interesting. I love that age. I love the freedom still in middle school. I love that you're so close to high school and everything, but that you can just really let these kids go a little crazy for a bit before they get to high school, which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I think people sometimes squander middle school a little bit.
Yeah, that's such a
Okay,
great.
so this was not on our question thing, but it was in our group. So I want to read this
Okay.
one, okay?
Okay.
Because it just popped up this morning. Okay. So
Okay.
what advice does everyone have for picking dual enrollment classes? I've learned certain things here that I wish I'd known earlier in our high school journey. For example, I know to check out our intended university's transfer articulation system to see if the credits are likely to transfer. So this is exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah.
We're also choosing classes that are part of the course requirements for each student's planned major. Again, this is what we're talking about where you're getting a little ahead of yourself. So we asked the university admissions office and found out that any classes taken before high school graduation will not count against their entrance as freshmen, no matter how many classes were taken. I had heard this isn't the case at all schools. However, the university will only take a maximum of 60 dual enrollment credits toward their degrees. Is there anything else that people need?
16 or 60?
60. So that's
Oh,
a high limit. Yeah.
that's a high limit. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Um,
yeah. So
again, I think you're really it, and I don't want to fault anyone. I was a low income parent. My kids had to fight for, space and at schools that were very hard to get into because they needed full rides practically. And I know money is looming over everyone. And so you think, oh, my kid can get all these credits. It'll cut down on time when they get there, perhaps. It'll make it easier. But you can get down a tunnel with this where you think this is the ultimate goal and I've got to do this. And you lose sight a little bit about the joy of homeschooling high school, I think. And the joy of homeschooling high school is to give your kid a different experience than they'd get at a traditional school, and to follow little tangents and let them follow some passions they have if they do, or let them just take a bunch of courses if they're more well-rounded and everything, and have time for their activities and have time just to be a teen. And if you get so caught up in this, it can really color that.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think, okay, so from a practical standpoint, I have not yet seen any university that that makes a student apply as a transfer if they have dual enrollment credits, period. So sometimes there's a myth about this where it's like, if you have too many, you have to apply as a transfer. It messes up your transfer stats. It messes up your financial aid. None of that is true. So that's the first thing. And then, so that's just not the case. You could have a million. But the other thing is that, like, most students, there's a benefit when your student gets to college. First of all, there's a benefit in having a cushion room of some transfer credits, whether those are dual enrollment or AP or something like, so that they have some space. It gives them space to double major. It gives them space to study abroad. It gives them space to screw up a class and have to drop it unexpectedly. It also gives them the option to potentially graduate a little early, but it usually does not mean, no matter how well you think you've planned it, that they can graduate in 2 years. It's just really difficult to do that. And so the early tends to be 1 or 2 semesters, so a year. And then, so that's one thing. So when you're really hyper focused on this, like you're saying, Jill, like usually it's not going to pay off anyway.
You don't usually say my name in this. It's like, wait, what? I felt like I was being called on by a teacher. I gotta pay attention to my ADHD. Okay, go ahead.
Jill. No, but it's if you're sort of hyper focused, tunnel vision on this one goal, like of making everything like it's usually not going to work out that way. Even students who are on a transfer pathway, things can go wrong, and they usually end up having to take at least once in the second half of their education, like an extra course, double up on something, and it's usually kind of unpleasant. And so you're usually not shaving 2 years off, even if you've like very carefully. And gen ed requirements at universities are not always as mind numbing as people seem to think they are. There's often a lot of choices.
Some cool classes.
Yeah, and it also is like an opportunity for students to explore, as opposed to like high school requirements, which tends to be like, well, you need a US history, as opposed to you need a broad humanities course of a lot of different options. And so, the sorts of things that you can do in university tend to be a little different. I think that it's good for kids to have those options when they get there.
Also, one thing I'd like to just say, because I've experienced this with my kids and I've seen it in other kids. Now, some kids are not like this, some teens, but you have a 13 or 14-year-old telling you exactly what they want to major in and do with their adult life, and you get behind them 100%, because we as parents do that. We're like, yeah. And then 17, and they totally change. And then 19 or 20, when they're at school, sometimes they change their mind again. And you don't want to put them on a track that they feel they can't get out of when they're so young. Because you just don't know, and they don't know. And honestly, the way our world is right now, none of us really know what's a good major at this point, and what's for sure going to set everyone up to have a good income, which seems to be a huge goal because we all have so much anxiety around money. But I just don't like over planning so much that your kid feels they're on one track and they can't get out.
Yeah. And I see that, and I do have I of my kids, one had a hyper focused on one
Right.
goal,
Yeah.
which he has fulfilled.
Yeah.
And the other, if I had listened to what he wanted to do at age 13 and pigeonholed him, that would have been a real problem for all of us. So I think like you just don't know. It doesn't mean that you can't support their goals when they're young. It just means like you don't, you know,
You don't know. You have no
yeah.
idea. I mean, you just don't know. For some reason, my sons especially changed majors a ton. They just could
Yeah.
not decide what to do. And I just was along for the ride for the most part. There's a famous story in my family where Truffaut called me one day from Hamilton and said he wanted to change his major to medieval studies.
You told him, I remember this. You said no.
The only time I've ever said, because you know me, I'm so open and I'm just like, yeah, that's so cool. I was like, oh, no, that's not happening. And, now sometimes I think maybe I shouldn't have done that. But, for the most part, though, he changed his mind again. So it was all good.
He's so good. He would have been successful at anything.
He would have been successful at anything. But anyway, I didn't see how medieval studies was going to work out. But, who knows these days. But just be open to the kids you have, and the right college. Someone just put in
Yeah.
our chat, the right college will be happy to have your kid. I think
Yes.
that's really true. If your student really comes through on their application, their voice and who they are and their story, I think the right college for the most part will be there. I do think, and I'm seeing it more, and I'm becoming very disillusioned with college admissions a bit. I already was, but I think lower income students have it quite hard and sometimes to find that right college. But for the most part, I think there's so many schools in the US and there's tons of options out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I just wanted to add like one person on that thread said immediately, like, oh, you should do English first. Like that should be an early dual enrollment class. And we really disagree with that
Yeah,
for
so
most
disagree.
students. Yeah. Because if you're a lot of ninth graders or even eighth graders could successfully do English Comp 101, but
Absolutely.
then you have to up that rigor every year. And the depth of it is not that great. I just don't see that as being a good path. And a lot of parents make this mistake. They think I don't know why this advice goes around regularly. It's terrible advice.
Yeah, yeah. It is. It's not good. It's not good.
Yeah.
And we've worked with situations. We've been doing this, for those who don't know us, for a very long time with Simplify.
Yeah.
And we also homeschooled all our kids. And so there's 5 kids between us. And so we have a lot of experience and have been helping so many different families who approach it very differently. So we've just come across this, and it usually is not a great decision. It just really isn't.
Yeah. What we've seen with dual enrollment over and over is that students who have used it to cover, and again, this is so dependent on goals, but students who have just taken like, this history 101 and that English 101 and that, 100 level like college algebra and that 100 level like survey class of psychology and that 100 level survey of, and so on and so forth, like the high school equivalent 101 chemistry and the high school equivalent biology and the, don't do that great in admissions. And again, it depends on
It
that
depends.
grade because, they're still gonna have lots of options, but like
definitely.
sometimes families have their students do those things and then they're applying to like really reachy schools. And they're like, what? But my kid has a bajillion dual enrollment credits, but they are looking to see what those are.
Yeah.
Whereas students who use it to access like, oh, I'm interested in graphic design, and they take like 3 classes and kind of level up in that one area, or like, oh, I'm interested to try these different things, or oh, I really want to go into, something in biology, and so they take not just the 100 level
Level
biology,
1.
but then they
Yeah.
take the 200 level biology, and then they take the chemistry that goes with that, so that then they can take microbiology or something like, and so they're leveling up in one area. That looks good. And so those are the students we see doing better at more reachy schools.
I think it's always nice to do, use dual enrollment for a few things, like you said, and then maybe do some AP courses if you have some goals that, are kind of high. and then do some, outside of the box courses. And it's a nice
Mhm,
little mix every year on the transcript. I would say that not everyone can do dual enrollment, and that's
mhm.
okay. I
Yeah.
homeschooled my twins in California. Dual enrollment was free, right? So it's a great option. My twins did not want to do dual enrollment, so we didn't use it at all, but it was an option.
Mhm,
Then I moved to Virginia when my youngest was in high school, and I was shocked that I had to pay for dual enrollment, and we just couldn't do it. So it just wasn't an
mhm,
option for my son, and I was able to put that in the school profile. And so one of the things I would like to say to parents who are planning is not to get too caught up in what everyone else is doing, especially in some of these groups where people
mhm,
are posting like tons every day, all these questions about where should I do dual enrollment? What should I do? This? And then
mhm.
if you can't afford it or it's not an option for your student, you start to feel bad and you think, oh no, I'm ruining their chances and
Yeah.
something's going to be missing from their transcript. And that is not true. My twins did no dual enrollment. They were fine in
Mhm,
admissions. My youngest did not because we couldn't afford it. And I was able to put that in the school profile and, they all had success. So
mhm.
just remember you have to do what's right for your family. That's why I always say, homeschool with your blinders on,
Mhm.
because you don't want to be comparing your family's situation and your students to other students. It can sometimes just make you feel really bad or worried.
Yeah. Yeah, I see, yeah, somebody said, like, electives as the first dual enrollment, I agree with that, yeah, or
I think
something
dual enrollment,
that's
that's the other thing I was gonna say. Like, if you have a student who really wants to get into art, there's just not tons of great online art options
agreed.
everywhere. And art is a really good thing to
Mhm,
do through dual enrollment. It really is.
agree. Mhm,
Some music courses can be quite good through
mhm.
dual enrollment, so that's good. There's certain things that are, yeah,
Things
absolutely.
that are harder to access are often
Yeah,
really good, but
yeah,
also science can be, I mean, it just depends on what your options are. I mean,
yeah.
we couldn't we also like, we're a middle income family, and we have to pay full freight for dual enrollment here to do it locally, and, for various reasons, it was very expensive, and so we did 1 course per semester.
Yeah, I mean, it can be just quite costly, as can online AP, courses too. Like, I was talking to someone in our group this week, I think, and they don't have a ton of money to just do everything as a course. And I
Mhm,
was like, absolutely, you do not have to do that by any means. I couldn't either. If you can afford one or two things with a live teacher, so there's letters of recommendation, because every year in the fall, when it's time to apply
mhm,
for colleges, there are parents and teens struggling to find someone to write a letter of recommendation. So
yeah.
if you can swing one or two things, that's always really, really good. At Moth every year, I do offer a few scholarship spaces for families that just cannot afford anything. So if you're in that boat, feel free to reach out to me before all the spaces go.
Yeah, there's a couple of providers that do that, that have a sliding scale, so,
We
yeah.
we offer it free. So because I was
Yeah,
so
or
hard
have a
to do.
sliding, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So there's a couple questions in the chat there. One, I'll back up to the one above in just a sec. But like somebody asked, when your local large university has dedicated course listings for dual enrollment and all of them are survey level, is it bad to knock out gen ed courses? It's not bad. No, no, no. But I think what we're saying is like some families are so hyper focused on that they think
Yeah.
it's going to look amazing, and it doesn't. So it doesn't mean you can't use that. And this is those differences in geography, like in California, it's just dual enrollment is free and you can access anything. In
Yeah.
other states, you get like one course. In other states, you just pay full freight and you can access anything. In other places, it's like, well, you can only do courses that satisfy certain requirements and they only let you take a few things. And that's a limitation. You can explain that. I think what we're saying is just like, take that into account. Don't hyper focus. Like a lot of the time, the advice from the university where you're doing the dual enrollment is like, oh, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But they're not thinking about it in terms of admission to other schools, and they don't know much about admissions to other schools. Like it's just not their lens. And so just take what they're saying with like a bit, a grain of salt, and use what makes sense. It could make sense for your student to do more sort of gen ed type courses.
You're
And
right.
if you're low income and those courses are free,
It's
then
great.
it could be good. Like
Yeah.
that, you should take advantage of it. But
Yeah.
like, if you've got other options, it may not be the best ones.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, it's complicated.
So to move on a little bit,
Mhm.
because I'm looking at a question that's talking about AP, and if you can't take
Yep.
an AP exam, is it still worth to have the AP courses? And the answer is absolutely. AP courses on the transcript help with admissions. We say this over and over again. We also have an AP video, how to
Mhm.
do it, so you can teach them at home on our
Mhm.
YouTube channel. It's a really good resource, so you can always look at that. If you can't afford all these courses,
Mhm.
you can do AP courses at home and put them on the transcript. The exam helps with credit, which is kind of what we're talking about here with dual enrollment too. What helps
Yep.
with admissions?
Mhm.
What helps once your student gets there?
So the one exception, because I did see this question recently, is universities abroad.
Yeah,
They don't
absolutely.
care about the course.
No, but and actually applying, we talk about this too, to
Mhm.
universities abroad is completely different. And sometimes we have someone come to us like senior year and they're like, we also want to apply to schools in the UK. And it's like that, if you know your kid really wants to get out of the country and study somewhere else, start researching it with them because they should be part of this process early on so
Mhm.
you can see what the requirements are at the different schools. Different countries have different requirements. Different programs at different schools have different requirements.
Mhm.
And it's usually a lot of these schools abroad love testing.
Yeah. And not only that, but also, like, look at what the actual cost is gonna be for you,
Yeah.
and what because sometimes people just have this idea like, "Oh, if my kid goes to school in Germany, it will be free or something." And then they start doing research, and the programs in English require ABCD, and
Yeah.
and the cost is not actually free, like, or the schools that they're looking at, like, they're thinking like, "Oh, I've heard it's so much cheaper in the UK." But then you actually run the numbers, and it's really only cheaper than paying, like, full freight at a private university.
Yeah.
And plus you have to pay travel. And so then it's sort of like, "Oh," and you have to have the money, like, in an account to show that
Well,
you can
yeah,
pay it
you
all.
normally have to do like your student visa and you have to put down like
Mhm.
$10,000 and it just sits there. Because so my nephew's at a school in Austria and the cost in some ways it's better, but in other ways, like just getting the approval to go live there is a
Mhm.
ton of money and a
Yes.
lot of time and a little bit stressful, to be honest.
Yeah.
Now, he loves it and is having an amazing time, but it may not be right for everyone.
Yeah. And it's just not as simple or straightforward as some people seem
Yeah.
to think,
Yeah.
and especially, like, and doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, because it
No.
absolutely can be done. I've certainly known homeschoolers who went abroad. We've worked with some, and, but it does require a little bit more planning,
Yeah.
and yeah, you gotta
The
think
other
ahead.
thing is too, I think that people don't realize how much studying abroad is available at almost every university now.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
not this big deal, and if your student really wants that opportunity, there are some great schools that really promote it in a lot of different ways. And I'll go back to Colorado College where my son went. I mean, his first 2 years there, he was only on campus for one semester. And the whole rest of the time, he was traveling all over the world. I mean, he just
Yeah.
went all over the world and it was paid for and part of his schooling and it was amazing. And he didn't have to go apply to a university in another
Yeah.
country to get that experience. So there's a lot of opportunities out there for that. And Colorado College is not unique in any way. Like, I mean, it is unique school, but I mean, so many other schools offer study abroad programs that are just so good. Your student just needs to know how to access them, how to apply for them, how the payment goes and everything.
It's so funny to me, like, when families are new to touring universities and they're like, "They have a writing center, they have study abroad," and I'm like, "Yeah, every school has these things," like, but of course, if you don't know, like, you don't know, and so,
It's super cute.
oh, yeah, it's always adorable. It's like, yeah, uh-huh, everyone. Did you know they have, like, the dining this option and a dining that up? And I'm like, "Yeah, that's like 90% of schools." Um, you know, the blue light system for, like, safety on campus. I'm like, "Yeah, uh-huh."
Yeah, you'll get
So it but it is good, like, this is why you need to do tours to learn these
yeah,
things. But, yeah,
yeah.
for study abroad, like, there's a lot of ways to get
There's so
abroad.
many ways and there will be options. There's always a way. I think that's the big thing to take away too. Is like there's so many options in America. There'll be
Oh,
choices.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's
so
choices.
don't stress too much. But related to that was how much of an AP course's time is generally spent related to test prep? That's usually at the very end. It's not.
It depends on the course. Some I
They
teach an
took
AP
a push
course.
in the 90s.
Oh yeah. So I teach AP World at AIM Academy. My course will be open for enrollment for next year soon. I try to keep it lean, but I do test prep throughout. Like
It's
it's
funny
just
because
set up that way. So it
this
depends on
person
the
doesn't
course.
recall the teacher ever bringing it up. That sounds very 90s.
Oh yeah. I APUSH was my first AP exam as a high school student. And I knew that there was going to be a test, but when we walked in and I saw the format, I was like, what is this? Like, we had done zero prep, zero. I had no idea. It's a miracle I made a 4. I don't know how that even happened.
It
Like,
was down to your teacher. No, I don't know.
it was, especially because the next year I took AP Euro and all we did was sort of, I mean, not all we did was test prep. We did a lot of learning, but the test prep was very built in so that we had practiced everything. And I felt way more prepared. I made a 5. And my course runs a lot more like that one that I
Right.
took.
It just depends. It'll depend.
Yeah.
I myself did not take any APs. I left high school super early. So we have different paths that
Mm.
got us to this journey of homeschooling. But
Yeah.
they have
Okay,
a
wait,
third
there's a
question. Wait,
couple.
this
Oh,
person has
okay.
a third question.
Okay.
Is it okay to do courses in the summer and have separate summer courses through all of high school? The thing is, we see a lot of parents who want to focus on academics so much in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And homeschooling allows for freedom, and you've always had this freedom, or you've always done year-round schooling, which is really great. I love that. Activities are so important to schools nowadays, and you just want to make sure the summer's being used in a way that shows off activities to colleges.
Mm-hmm.
The summer before 9th grade is when that starts counting. So activities count all the way through from that summer before 9th grade. If you have time to do some coursework too, that is 100% fine. A lot of parents will finish a course in the summer, or
Yeah.
if they take just a course in the summer, a lot of times on the transcript, it goes on the next year's courses. So
Yeah.
if you do it the summer before junior year, list it on junior year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think leave time for summer pursuits and activities and
And
things is so
fun.
important. Yeah.
Everyone needs to have fun.
Okay, there's a couple questions from the YouTube. So first, we're focusing on high quality courses and some dual enrollment, but in 10th grade, we will do just one AP, having done 3 dual enrollment and 1 to 2 more in 10th. Is that a concern? Should we be trying to do more APs in 10th? Wait, so
Wait,
some high quality courses and some dual enrollment. In 10th grade, we'll do just 1 AP, having done 3 dual enrollment.
the
I
year
think they're saying
before.
3 dual enrollments the year before and 1 to 2 more. No, no, no. It's if you're doing
Fine.
if in 9th grade you did 3 dual enrollments and then in 10th grade you do 1 AP and 2 dual enrollments or 1 AP and 1 dual enrollment even. It's fine. Yeah, that's pretty
Just
even.
remember, junior year is the most important, and you do
Mhm.
want to see some, you're going
Yeah.
up a little bit.
Yep.
So
You do wanna build in rigor.
yeah, and
Um,
really focus on that junior year.
yeah, it depends on the goals as to whether or not that's the right balance, but, like, that's fine.
I'm
Um,
just looking at all these. Okay.
yeah, there's another one here. I got audited as a homeschool parent to teach AP Spanish and AP Physics using the method that we explained. So the only thing I have doubts about is how strict I have to be following the curriculum myself. So, first of all, no one is coming to your house to check you. So, like,
I might.
don't
I might do
oh,
that. Yeah, I
okay.
might just start. No, I do like to hang out with people.
You
Okay,
do,
go
it's
ahead.
true. Um, so don't feel like anybody's breathing over your shoulder. You have a lot of freedom. The flip side is, I mean, ethically, you do need to follow like the basics that they're laying out. But like, you're not stuck using, I mean, you should get the textbook that you've agreed to use. And you need to cover the topics. But like if your student isn't going to take the test, you can focus a lot less on the test prep, for
Right.
example.
Yeah.
If your student if you want to get creative, I mean, if you look at how AP is run, like, so AP teachers who are doing this, professionally for other students in schools, do like AP summer intensives, basically, like where they do these little institutes, and those typically are teaching AP educational methodology in a variety of ways. So, like the ones for AP World, for example, which is what I teach, like every year they do one that's like more project based and like that, in the past they've done ones that are a little bit more creative. So you do see flexibility in content delivery as opposed to like the content itself. So you need to cover the skills and the content that are in there, but like how you do that and how long you spend on each thing, you have a lot of freedom.
Yeah,
Um,
I just think the takeaway is you are like, if you're teaching this, you are agreeing to cover this material. And the reason it looks good to colleges is because they know exactly what is in an AP course.
yes.
So you can cover that material in any way you wish to do it, but
Mhm.
you should cover the material that's in a
Yeah.
standard AP course that's laid out. And but there's a lot of freedom around that. And the
Mhm.
thing is too, like if you have a student with a learning disability or anything like that, you
Mhm.
may choose to do it differently, which is great because
Yeah.
homeschooling allows for that. So you should absolutely use that freedom as much as you can. I would say one of the things I wanted to talk about is that a lot of the focus in our group is like just AP and dual enrollment, and there
Yeah.
are courses beyond that. And it is important that your student be able to explore some of these out of the box topics and
Mhm.
different things that bring them joy, and their ability to work with teachers online who know
Mhm.
the homeschool world, who know how to work with homeschoolers, and just really are passionate about learning and about spurring on teens, and just building
Mhm.
some passion in them and getting them excited about some different materials. And I feel so called to that myself, which is why I have Moth Learning. But like, even if you're just self-studying some of these things or your teens doing a deep dive, these are all really good things to do. And often these little deep dives aren't huge output, which is so good for a teen's mental health because some kids can do like three really intense dual enrollment courses and 4 APs and then maybe something on their own and they're fine. But a lot of kids, it's
Mhm.
just too much. And I just want to call out how important mental health is nowadays to everybody. I mean, I think everyone's struggling in some ways,
Yeah.
but it's really, really important for our young people. And just keep that in mind because you can just overplan and your kid can't keep up. And then everyone's just feeling the fallout. So look at some of these other providers that are doing stuff differently and maybe not so intensely. I think it's really, really good.
And also just don't discount home-based classes. Like
Yeah.
I feel like for every question about like, "Oh, how can I teach this at home?" Both for like, "Oh, a basic course, like how can I teach biology or chemistry or like what curriculum, what textbook?" Or like, how can I design this outside the box course about
Yeah.
like, like we had one about like music history the other day. There are like 10 questions about like which provider is best for this. Like, and oh gosh, I mean, I don't want to discount the importance of providers. I think like what you do with Moth is really great. I think like I enjoy teaching at AIM. I love that. And I teach a couple slightly outside the box courses too there, but also like AP World History, And I think that those are really useful, like for a ton of reasons. But kids should have the option to really homeschool a course too. Like, and a lot of the time, parents like uh, we have seen our students, our clients who have more interesting transcripts with these sort of niche courses that really speak
Yeah.
to who they
Yeah.
are. And, that those they tend to do better in admissions with
They
more
do.
competitive schools
Yeah.
than students who just had all the sort of they replicated school at home,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
don't have anything really interesting or outside the box. Like they don't tend to do as well. And
And I
yeah.
will say, we always ask kids, what are you doing on your own? Because teens today are so good at curating
Mhm.
information for themselves and just
Yeah.
really going deep in whatever they're interested in. But a lot of times they themselves discount it too. And we're like,
Mhm.
no, everything you do in high school should either be on your transcript or an
Mhm.
activity. And even if it's self-study or an activity you're doing on your own, but you've been doing it, all through high school, these things count. And schools want to see them. They want to know what interests you. They want to know what things you love and what deep dives you did and what activity you do on your own and you're consistent with. I mean, all these things help paint a picture of a really unique student. And
Mhm.
homeschoolers have that freedom, that others kids just don't have. So
Mhm.
use that freedom, lean into it. There's got to be a reason you're homeschooling, don't lose sight of that.
Yeah.
And if you don't have to do it all online at courses and stuff. You can
Yeah.
definitely do a lot of these things at home and it's joyful. On the flip side, if you have a kid who just wants to do online courses like I did with my youngest, that is also, you know, fine if you can afford it. So you just have to figure it out. But I would say, you know, I'm really excited about Moth. We're going to have a lot of outside of the box courses, including one by your husband.
Oh yeah, he's going to.
I just want to throw that out there. He's going to teach a class on cults. It's really, really good.
You guys, he knows way too much. I promise he's not running a cult. We've discussed it as a financial option. No, I'm joking.
It's really good. No, he majored in religious studies, right?
He did, and he's also a divinity school dropout, so
he knows this really well. I could tell immediately.
He really does.
You know, for kids who have, but I'm just using that as an example. It's such an outside of the box course. It's going to have really good discussions. It's going to be a teacher who knows their stuff forward and backwards. And it's going to be engaging, you know, and these type of courses are fun for a lot of teens. They really are. I'm planning my advanced film class, and I've decided I'm going to have all the kids teach a unit to us because I think it's such a great skill. To be able to, you know, discuss. I think it's so important for kids to know how to discuss nowadays, but also to like present and teach a unit to your peers. Like it's going to be, I'm so looking forward to it, to see what everyone comes up with.
Yeah,
I'm going to learn something.
Next week, I'll put a thread about new classes, and then I'll put another one about, like, you know, outside the box ones. I've been waiting because a lot of providers don't have everything up yet, but we run threads like that every year in the group. Okay, so somebody asked.
No, wait, can I do something real quick because it's just related? Someone with huge social anxiety, what can you do for activities or courses? And you know what? I understand that completely. And we've had kids just do things on their own that are so interesting. And it's always so cool to see. And one of them was that, I mean, we talk about it all the time, but the knitting.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. And it was a student who was really into math and designed patterns. And that was so cool on their own, just did it on their own. But it was a great activity for all 4 years. You know, you can do writing, you know, not everything has to be in a group with other people, especially if you have a student with anxiety, you have to think around the box a little bit.
But the other thing I'll say is that, like, you know, that if you do have a student with anxiety, I would say you do need to
something needs to
because I mean you can't just be like, well, you just won't take classes where you have to participate ever, like, because that's not a good path for their life. So, you know,
also trying it out at home in high school before you get to college might be really helpful. It also builds up some confidence and everything. You can't make it easier for kids always, you know?
Okay, so a few questions that popped up in the chat. If a dual enrollment class is taken to explore an area, does it have to be included on the high school transcript? I know it has to eventually be sent to the college that the student enrolls in. Not just that they enroll in, it must be reported in the application process, or you can get in trouble. It does not have to go on the high school transcript if you don't want to include it, but not including it can be a disadvantage in admissions. So 99% of the time, you should
just include it.
You should
include it. If your student took the course and the college is going to see it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, they have to see it anyway. They have to report these. Not just where you enroll, but also in admissions.
For admissions. So why are you not wanting to include it? That's what I would want to know.
Let's see. And then somebody gave a shout out to the advanced film class. That's nice. Any music history courses?
Hopefully it works. Part of me is like, oh, is this going to work? But I think it's going to work. It's a trial class. Music history. I just talked to a homeschool graduate yesterday who's going to do a really outside of the box music theory class at Moth. That's going to be different than a lot of things that's offered. So I'm super excited about that. We also have American history through music. But a lot of music courses, I mean, dual enrollment is good for us.
Dual enrollment is great for music history. Most, you know, larger community colleges have, you know, at least a few music classes, and like a basic survey of Western music class is usually one of them.
I would also say my daughter did all the courses on the great courses.
I was going to suggest
they were phenomenal. They were phenomenal. And she even wrote some of the professors, you know, she found them at their schools and talked to them. And she became so knowledgeable before she even got to music school, and they were so joyful. I mean, it was just wonderful. So that's a really good resource that's not super expensive.
Yeah, and great courses sometimes is through your library.
Yeah, definitely.
Additionally, they also have like a cool one about like music in the brain, and they've got some neat stuff.
Yeah, they've got, oh yeah, music. Yeah, that, and music and math. My other
Music
son
and
loved
math.
that. He
Mhm.
loved that course. Yeah, that was really
Yeah,
good.
those are both good.
Oh, oh, I miss homeschooling. I don't really, but
I know that. Well, that goes to like the comment there, like, oh, come up with more stuff after the student graduates. Now
oh
let your
yeah,
student
sorry
go
about
after
that.
they graduate. But
Sorry about
like,
that,
it's
Lisa.
this is the focus on yourself. Come up with stuff you want to study.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I should teach classes to homeschool parents.
it would be fun. Yeah. I
It
mean,
would be
sometimes
fun.
I like look at other like homeschool classes. I'm like, oh, I miss this era. Like when I got to learn stuff alongside the kids.
Yeah, yeah, so cool. It's funny though, because I was thinking about it. It's been a long time now since I homeschooled. My memories came up today about like DECA.
Mhm.
And it's funny to me how much I missed it at first, more than I expected, because I was like, oh, I'm so done and burned out. And then I just really missed it. But now I'm like, oh, I'm so happy to just have, time to myself and not have to worry about that. So, there's
Yeah.
good and bad things. Yeah.
I agree. Okay, final question, and then we're gonna sign off.
Yeah, I got to teach a class.
Yep, my daughter wants to apply for a major in physics or engineering in New Mexico. All classes, science and math, have been at home, working to get a good score on the SAT, ACT. But there's 5 dual enrollments in social justice. Is this okay? It's not exactly what I would have planned, but it could be okay. Um,
All
yeah, what do you think,
classes,
Jill?
science and math at home, wants to apply for physics or engineering. The one thing that I would think about is they really need a letter of recommendation from someone in math or science. And if they've all been at home
Ideally.
for STEM majors, I mean, that,
Mhm.
it depends on how, competitive the school is, but that's one thing that I would keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean, New Mexico is a good example of a state where the state flagship is very accessible
Yeah.
and affordable.
Yeah.
And so it probably is fine if that's the goal. But like in other states, like, so like there are
And goals
states.
change. I would just say that goals can
Exactly.
change for
Yes, it
kids.
depends on the age too. But like you also want them to be successful once they get there. And so it's sort of like, well, were the classes at home like, really rigorous? I mean, I'm not saying they're not because I'm literally touting that you can get that level of rigor at home too. But like, did you use a strong textbook? Are they
Yeah.
ready? So that's another piece of
I
that.
mean, if you have a really good test score, especially in the math, that can help,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that's
Yeah, and
really
again,
important.
being in a state where the state flagship has like, more
Yeah.
than an 80% acceptance rate, like I mean, in that sense, you've got good
I'm
options.
thinking about our cross-country trip when we went to University of New Mexico and
I
how much
know.
this was fun.
Big, very chill campus. They've got a good film program too, and
Yeah, yeah,
that's one of the states where they don't have flagship match. So the flagship match is like, like University of Maine has flagship match where
right,
it's like
right.
you pay your in-state tuition cost, but if your student goes there, but you can get in-state tuition if your GPA is above a certain level, and that includes
So,
homeschoolers even
yeah,
without a test score. And then additionally, you can get in-state tuition just once you've lived there. Like that's true
it's
for
really,
Utah
really,
too, once
it's a
you've lived there for a year. Yeah.
my oldest son applied there because we were, lower income, and it was one of the places that we could end up affording. And he actually applied because this this boy did not know at all what he wanted to major in. I don't know if you know the story. He
Astronomy,
applied
right?
for pre-med
Oh,
and
that was pre-med.
got in.
Yeah,
And it was really one of our affordable options. It really was.
yeah.
So that's
Oh
funny. Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. So keep that open for anyone who needs it. Okay. This has been really fun. My son and I are working around the clock, hoping to have moth classes up by the
Yeah.
15th. It may or may not happen. I can't promise, but there is time. So don't worry about it. It may be the 20th. I don't know, but they
Yeah,
will be up soon before February ends.
yeah. Yeah, my AIM classes are up in a few days, including
I feel
mine.
like I should be competing with Abe. No.
Yeah, you're so different. But a lot of the big providers are up with their classes, but I know that and like so the big Christian providers mostly have listed classes at this
Yeah, I
point.
don't know. That's not,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But like, and then, but some of the smaller providers and, Blue Tent doesn't have theirs
Yeah.
everything updated yet. So like, just hold your horses, folks.
Hold your horses. Hold your horses. Yeah, and also like I'm trying to do our site and write my syllabus, and it's so hard. I don't know
Well,
if I'm
and work with
overextending
our
myself.
clients
And
because
work with
we've
our
got,
clients. We have clients. Oh,
uh-huh.
forgot
we
about that.
we kind of love them, but did
I
you
did not
forget?
forget about that though. So for any clients watching, I have not forgotten about you at all. No, we are definitely
um,
working with clients.
yeah, we're still, yeah. In fact, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go meet one now. So.
Yeah. Okay. So we gotta go. Thank you,
Okay,
everyone.
we survived it. We did our first YouTube live. Huzzah!
Yay. It was awesome.
Okay,
So
you
good.
have to end it
Okay.
because you started it.
Do I? Okay, I'll
I
see you.
think so.